Welcome, investors, and thank you for joining me here at Gambling Investor, where I break down two different portfolios that I have, a gambling portfolio and an investing portfolio. So let's jump right into it. Today, we're going to be taking a look at my investing portfolio. I've exposed all 5 positions that I have, but I am looking for another one. So you can see we're down in the markets today. It looks like the S&P was down a little bit over 0.5%. I am down over 1% for the day, but that's okay. I have over $4,000 in cash and I am looking to add a financial stock. So, yeah, what should I add? That is the question here. So, I took to Claude, I took and Gemini as well as ChatGPT, and I asked them, what financial stock should I add to my investing portfolio for the long term? So I've been using all of these tools to make videos, research, and do different things. So it knows that I'm making YouTube videos. So when I first asked for it, it basically gave me answers that would make good videos. And then I rephrased the question and said, forget the YouTube aspect. Just give me 5 financial stocks that would be best to invest in for the long term, for at least 5 to 10 years out. So, what is this one? This one is Claude. Claude gave me Visa, JP Morgan Chase, MasterCard, American Express, and not really sure why, but Berkshire Hathaway. Let's see, it says the cheat code pick. Technically an insurance company, but really diversified financial empire. Yeah, empire is a pretty good way to describe it. If you guys don't know what Berkshire Hathaway is, it is Warren Buffett's just massive company. They are sitting on a boatload. I think it says sitting on more than, yeah, here it is, $373 billion in cash. When, when they've asked Warren Buffett or he stepped down as CEO, I think it's Greg Abel that is now the CEO. Anybody they've asked, they say, do you think the market's going down? Why are you holding so much cash? A common answer is that there's nothing that looks interesting to them, or there's nothing interesting that they can buy. So when you have such a big company, they feel like they can't invest in small cap companies. It's got to be something big. So yeah, I'm not sure why they called it a insurance company. They do own Geico, but they own a lot of other companies as well as a lot of stock. They're famous for owning Coca-Cola, made a ton of money in Apple as well as Coca-Cola. Banks at one time, I know they've been selling off banks over the years. Let's see, yeah, it says stakes in Bank of America, American Express. So anyways, yeah, let's see what Gemini said. Gemini gave us Visa, S&P Global, which is, it says infrastructure of the capital markets, whether companies are issuing debt or investors are researching equities. They rely on S&P's credit rating. So it's a credit rating company. That's right. I'm like, this sounds familiar. JP Morgan Chase, of course, this one's going to be on everybody's list. It's the biggest bank in the world, run by Jamie Dimon, the biggest banker in the world, as they usually describe him as. Okay, this one also says Berkshire. Am I on the same one? They both gave Berkshire? Interesting. All right, and then MasterCard. Huh. All right, no fintechs in here. No fintechs in the first one. I think ChatGPT at least throws SoFi in here. All right, JP Morgan's top of the list. Visa's next. Apollo Global Management, not really sure what that is. Let's see, alternative asset manager right now. Private credit is becoming one of the biggest trends in finance, and Apollo is positioned directly in the middle of it. Insurance plus private credit could drive enormous earnings growth over the next decade. Okay, that sounds interesting. SoFi Technologies, I kind of expected SoFi to be on more of the lists. Kind of surprised since they are the up and coming bank. They don't have locations or an online bank, but they're a one shop for everything app. And let's see, KKR and Company. Don't know this company. Quietly becoming a financial powerhouse. Exposure. Okay, private equity, infrastructure, insurance. Interesting. Okay, so I took some of these and put them in a comparison tool just to kind of run some differences. Obviously, there's a lot more than just these metrics to think about on which one I'm going to buy. Obviously, JP Morgan is probably the most well-known of all of them, probably the safest. I think its performance in the last like year or two has actually been really, really well. I think it has outperformed the market. So we'll look at their revenue. Let's see, we got JP Morgan coming in at $173 billion. Next closest one is Visa at 43 billion. Visa, Mastercard are credit card companies, payment processing. So completely different business. JP Morgan might have a little bit of credit card exposure, I think. I think SoFi does. Hood. I threw Hood in there just to kind of like shake things up. I know they're trying to kind of lean more towards the bank type of thing. Obviously, it's a fintech play, total crypto, picks and shovels type play. Um, it moves up and down with the crypto. If crypto is having a bad year, which it is, then Hood's gonna probably be having even worse year. So let's look. SoFi and Hood pretty similar revenue, but let's see their EPS growth. Looks like Hood is wow, that's high, 17%. SoFi 4.5 for their earnings growth. JP Morgan 2.3. I'm kind of surprised. I thought it was more than that. Of course, everybody but SoFi and Hood pay a dividend, so that's also something to think about. You can see their dividend yield here. JP Morgan's got the highest. MasterCard and Visa everyone else under 1%. So this is, I think these are like analysts' potential upside. I think they've taken their projected growth on what the stock price might become. It looks like SoFi has the most potential, but KKR is pretty close as well. So yeah, I'll have to take a deeper dive. So let me know if you own any of these stocks in the comments, or if you're thinking about buying them, or if you have an opinion about any of these, like, hey, don't buy that. It's awful. I would love to hear your opinion in the comments. And I'll see you on the next one.